Now at 9, how an event in Miami, Oklahoma this evening honored survivors of domestic violence. Plus, how the Caney Valley School District is adapting to the city's water shortage. And
Israel gears up for its highly anticipated ground invasion while also trying to free more than 200 hostages. I'm Brian Yennis in Jerusalem. I'll have the details coming up.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dow Quick. Authorities have identified skeletal remains found near Humboldt, Kansas back in March. Dennis Lushbaugh from Iola, Kansas disappeared more than 6 years ago. His disappearance sparked extensive searches across southern Allen County. Sheriff Brian Murphy confirms the skeletal remains are those of Lushbaugh. His family has been notified. The cause of death is ruled undetermined, but the sheriff does not suspect any foul play in Lushbaugh's death. A Milan, Missouri man is dead from a two-vehicle crash in Bourbon County, Kansas. Happened last night on Highway 54. Authorities say an SUV failed to yield to an oncoming Jeep while making a left turn and struck the Jeep. The occupant of that Jeep, Nathaniel Moorhead, died in the crash. Take a look at what a Miami Police Department drone showed during a manhunt in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. Authorities were looking for Richard Foley, who was wanted on numerous warrants. The thermal imaging feature on the drone showed Foley hiding in tall grass where he couldn't be spotted at ground level. The police drone operator directed officers to the location. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office, Quapaw Marshals, BIA, and Miami Police Department were all involved in that search. Authorities caught Foley and booked him on a long list of crimes involving burglary, a bogus check, and various driving offenses. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now has a first look at the weather.
Well, definitely turned out to be another mild and very windy day for us today. We had winds gusting at times 30 upwards at 35, but it pushed our temperatures up. 79 started at 66, average high is 67 degrees. So it was mild across the area, but we are definitely going to see some changes. Pittsburgh, Joplin look pretty good right now. We are dry. We're going to stay dry as we go through the overnight hours. But look at this storm system. Look at the snow across the northern plains. This system's heading toward us, not particularly the snow, but the colder air that is associated with it. Still, temperatures hanging out near 70. We're only going to drop off another degree or two as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. It's going to stay fairly mild, also windy, those southerly winds at about 15 to 25. First freeze right around the corner. Big changes for the weekend. We're going to talk about that here in a bit.
See you soon. City of Joplin today held a public meeting to discuss the next steps on the project to widen Connecticut Avenue. Construction on the final phase is set to begin soon. It'll focus on the area from 32nd Street to the I-44 bridge. The project will widen the street to 5 lanes with a curb and gutter. It'll also have a 10-foot wide sidewalk and bike trail on the west side with a 6-foot wide sidewalk on the east side. Caney Valley School District in Kansas is adapting to Caney's ongoing water shortage. KOIM's Amber Jenkins talked with the superintendent about closing school on certain days while still meeting the requirement of school days for the year.
The determination was made. It's a variety of days. The majority are all Monday. We do have a couple of Fridays. Those butt up to our Thanksgiving and Christmas break where we'll be off. But essentially what we've done is by eliminating those days, we know that we can reduce any consumption of water during those days.
So far, most of the water conserving efforts have been on the district's wallet through purchasing portable trailer restrooms and passing out bottled water. However, truckloads of donations made the bills a little lighter.
In times when we have to, yes, that does come off of our end, but thankfully today was a very big day for our community. So Walmart stepped up and donated 3 semi-trucks full, so I believe it was over 60 pallets of water. And then we also received a donation as well from from Hope as well.
Heavy rainfall will not fix the issues with the reservoir. Caney has been in a drought for more than a year, so heavy rain can lead to flash flooding. However, the drought could lighten up with time.
As long as we just get moderate rain, we don't have to worry about flooding. But the good news here is the pattern that we just started. So as we go through the rest of the fall into the winter, we're going to put a big dent into that drought. So I think Montgomery County by next spring and summer is going to be in a much better situation.
Reporting in Caney, Amber Jenkins, KOIM News.
Caney Valley School District also replaced showers and locker rooms with foam spray that acts as a skin cleaner. Freeman Health System today showed off one of its 2 new mass casualty communication trailers. The equipment went online earlier this month. Both trailers can provide rapid emergency aid and uninterrupted communications during a local or regional disaster. One of them will be based in Joplin, the other in Neosho. But according to Freeman Health System, it'll be available to the whole community.
It's a community asset. If something is happening in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and they need this, they're part of our team. If it's McDonald County, Newton County, Lamar, they all need to know this resource is available for them and all the residents of that community.
So a lot of the equipment would be used for patients with traumatic injuries, so bleeding control. There's also extra oxygen supplies on board. It's also got a communications component to it to help us to be able to communicate with outside resources.
Freeman Health System says each unit has enough supplies to stabilize and do the initial triage for up to 200 victims. It's National Pro Bono Celebration Week, and locally, the Pittsburgh office of the Kansas Legal Services helps low-income Kansans by providing legal and mediation services. Between 2020 and 2022, they've served more than 1,600 clients. 70% of them are women.
Sadly, in today's society, if there's abuse or violence in the household, they are more likely to be the victims and the ones who need assistance. And that isn't to say that men are not victims of domestic violence too, because they can be.
KSL attorneys assist people who live in households with an annual income at or below 125% of the federal poverty guidelines. Clients include the working poor, veterans, homeowners and renters, families and children, farmers, people with disabilities, and the elderly. Miami, Oklahoma residents gathered this evening showing support for victims of domestic violence. KOIM's Anthony Saviello has that story.
Domestic abuse and the victims it affects are all around us. However, the Wyandotte Nation Domestic Violence Program brought community members together to honor those who fall victim to domestic violence.
Domestic violence isn't selective. And it doesn't just happen to weak people. It doesn't just happen to people that are addicted. It doesn't just happen to people that are lower economic class. It can happen to anybody.
Lisa Arnold is not only a domestic violence survivor, but also the one who led the charge to put this event together.
My heart is very involved in the job that I do. You know, I started doing this position 6 years ago, and it's not a job for me. It's part of who I am.
Demonstrating strength and leadership to those who rallied to show support.
I think one of the most common questions that people ask me is like, why didn't you leave? Why would you stay after being hurt like that and being treated like that? There are so many reasons, and as I stand here before you today, none of them feel good enough anymore.
Although the event carried the weight of a very heavy topic, the night was filled with love and support from community members and organizations, all of which longing to bring an end to domestic violence. Reporting in Miami, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Those who attended tonight were also able to get food and were entered to win prizes. Coming up, millions of people have a stroke every year. We're going to have 9 simple tips to help you avoid one. A new study shows just a few small food swaps could have a great big impact on the environment. The lead author says food production causes about 1/5 of the world's greenhouse gases. She suggests swapping beef for chicken, juice for fruit, and cow's milk for non-dairy options. She adds changing a few servings a week would help the environment and improve your health. Every 40 seconds in the U.S., someone has a stroke, but health experts say many people can avoid having one by living a healthy lifestyle. Mandy Gaither has 9 simple steps to help prevent a stroke.
It's a leading cause of death and serious long-term disability in the U.S.
Stroke is actually much more common than we think.
Every 3 minutes and 14 seconds, someone dies of stroke in the U.S., according to the CDC. But addressing 9 risk factors can help prevent most strokes. It starts with keeping blood pressure in check. A healthy lifestyle and limiting salt intake to less than 2 grams per day can help. Diabetes is another risk factor. Control it with glucose-lowering medications, says Dr. Sidoni Abrikji, a neurologist at Cleveland Clinic.
What we like to target in diabetic patients is a hemoglobin A1C of around 7%.
Next, Abrikji says to control high cholesterol by taking statins or other medications. Fourth, be aware of atrial fibrillation, a risk factor for stroke that causes an irregular heartbeat.
They have to be on a strong blood thinner known as anticoagulation.
Getting sleep apnea treated is also key. Those suffering from the condition stop breathing for short periods during the night.
The main ways to prevent sleep apnea are weight loss, but also using a CPAP machine if it's moderate to severe.
Cut out smoking and limit alcohol intake to 1 drink or less a day. Both are major risk factors for stroke, as is what you eat. Abrikji recommends a diet rich in fruits and veggies, nuts, and lean protein. And finally, get your heart rate up at least 4 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes a day.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, high school playoff football kicks off tonight in Kansas. We're going to have highlights as Colgan takes on Pleasanton.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a mild one for us today. We had some showers during the morning hours, sunshine during the afternoon, very windy as well. The southerly winds at about 10 to 20 gusts higher than that. Check out this shot, great shot. Cornell Center, Arts and Entertainment Center, right on top of the Cornell Center in downtown Joplin. Looks great. You can see the flags blowing, and it's going to be breezy as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Check out the temps. Still, everybody's hovering right around 70 to about 73 degrees. We're only going to drop off another degree or 2 tonight. So really our temperatures we have out there right now is what we're going to see through the overnight hours. But I want you to focus on this. Look at our front. Look at the cold air behind it. Sioux Falls 51, 39 in Goodland. It's 20 in Rapid City. This front is barreling southeastward, heading toward us, and will affect us during the daytime hours tomorrow. Stays breezy tonight. South winds at about 10 to 20. Now at times we've had gusts 25, 30, upwards of 35 miles per hour. It's going to stay breezy through the daytime hours for us tomorrow. But we look good. We cleared out. We have clear skies. We'll start to get some clouds back in here by morning. The rain we had earlier, gone. But of course we're tracking this storm system, strong storm system, which is going to start to head toward us during the daytime hours tomorrow. So let's break this down for you. Through tonight, clouds thicken. Watch this, 6 a.m., line of showers, even a thunderstorm. This is with our front. See the wind shift line? Watch it drop south. Right to the I-44 corridor by 10 a.m. We drop into the 50s behind it, 70s ahead of it. Front continues to barrel southeast through the afternoon. By 2:30, everybody's going to be in the 50s. By the time we get into the evening, a couple showers, we drop into the 40s. So this is a big switch moving in for us on Friday. Cloudy skies for us tomorrow night. We start to get a few random showers in here by Saturday morning. Showers start to slowly pick up through the day. Notice the temperatures. We're in the 40s. Showers increase by Saturday evening, and then we have periods of rain Saturday night and all the way into Sunday morning, which of course we need, but the temperatures are going to be so much colder. How much rain could we get? The heaviest amounts are going to be in our southern counties. Northern counties, you may get a 1/4 of an inch. Once you get to the I-44 corridor, maybe upwards to a 1/2 inch, maybe some areas an inch in our southern counties. Day planner, we start with rain with the front. Look at our temps, 58 noon, so 69 in the morning, 50 by the time we get into 4 p.m. So what does that mean for high school football? It's going to be chilly. Have your hoodie, have your coat. Kickoff, 47 will hang into the upper 40s throughout the entire game, or games, as we get into tomorrow evening. All right, 70 tomorrow, but dropping. 54, that's it on Saturday. 43 on Sunday, rain through the day. First freeze Sunday night into Monday morning. Sunshine returns, but look at these temperatures, only 45 on Monday for Halloween. High temperature of only 48 degrees. Dow?
We have to put some extra blankets on the beds this weekend. Coming up, a deal in place.
Tentative agreement between Ford and UAW in the strike, but it continues against GM and Stellantis. I'm Jeff Flock in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, and I'll be back with the details shortly.
The ongoing United Auto Workers strike is officially one for the record books. As of yesterday, the strike has become the longest American auto strike in 25 years. The last time the union went on strike was in 2019, and that lasted 40 days. That strike was against only General Motors, but yesterday marked day 41 of the UAW strike against General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. However, the 6-week-long United Auto Workers strike could be seeing its end. Fox Business correspondent Jeff Flock is in Pennsylvania with the latest.
1 down, 2 to go. UAW President Shawn Fain last night, along with Vice President Chuck Browning, taking to Facebook, Twitter, former Twitter, and YouTube to announce a tentative deal with Ford. They say their strong-arm tactics, their strike tactics worked, pointing out that on Monday they struck Stellantis' most profitable plant, the one that makes the Ram trucks in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Then on Tuesday they struck GM's most profitable plant, the one in Arlington, Texas, that makes all the big SUVs. And they say Ford didn't want to get to Wednesday.
Ford knew what was coming for them on Wednesday if we didn't get a deal. That was checkmate.
So what did they get? Well, a big salary increase. The starting wage now up 68% on the new contract. The top earners will get an increase of 33%. Overall, it's a 25% pay increase. Also, in terms of benefits, the cost of living adjustment that had been in place prior to the last contract, that's been restored. A shorter time to get to those higher wage tiers. The UAW also announcing that the strike will end at Ford even before the contract is ratified by the rank and file. That's an unusual move, but they say that's strategy too.
We're going back to work at Ford to keep the pressure on Stellantis and GM. The last thing they want is for Ford to get back to full capacity while they mess around and lag behind.
Ford CEO Jim Farley issuing a statement saying they're happy to have the deal and they are focused on restarting their operations. The pressure now shifts to GM and Stellantis. Typically, when one automaker reaches a deal, that's a pattern for the others. But this auto strike has not been like any others. At the GM parts facility on strike in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
Up next, we're going to check out some of the really cute pictures out of Freeman Health System's NICU just in time for Halloween. Boy, Freeman Health System witnessed a really adorable scene this afternoon. NICU babies dressed up in really cute Halloween costumes. They might have had some help, I'm thinking, but they were wearing cute costumes. The outfits were handcrafted by liberal high school students. The day provided a way to offer parents the opportunity to celebrate their kids' very first Halloween, even though it's, of course, not the ideal situation being in NICU. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. How Israel's preparing for a full ground invasion of Gaza soon. Plus, Convoy of Hope in Springfield is working to get supplies to people in Israel and Gaza. As Israeli forces continue planning their ground offensive into Gaza, there's a renewed focus on getting the hostages home safely. Fox News correspondent Brian Yennis has more now from Jerusalem.
The ground assault on Gaza is imminent. That's the word from officials here in Israel following an overnight raid to take out Hamas targets, part of a broader strategy to destroy impediments to troops and tanks in the coming weeks. The IDF won't say when they're planning to go in, but when they do, they plan to take the fight directly to the terrorists.
Dealing with explosive devices that potentially could threaten ground forces so that Hamas will not feel safe. They will be pursued when we mobilize.
The IDF says Israeli fighter jets killed the deputy head of Hamas's intelligence unit, who was responsible for planning the October 7th massacre that left 1,400 dead. But Hamas says if Israel does conduct a full-scale ground offensive, the terror group's regional allies will respond, possibly expanding hostilities at a time when both Israel and the U.S. are looking to keep the fighting localized.
We want to fight against the occupation in the whole Arabic front, everywhere.
And as those preparations continue, the fate of some 224 hostages being held by Hamas are coming into sharper focus. The Jewish nonprofit Aish hosting a global day of prayer here in Jerusalem, putting a spotlight on the victims and their families and letting them know they're not alone.
We do not understand. It's not we don't quite understand. There's no way to comprehend. The soul was not built to manage this type of horror and terror and atrocity. But what we can say is that we stand with you.
Hamas is claiming almost 50 of those hostages held in Gaza have been killed in recent days from Israeli airstrikes. In Jerusalem, Brian Yennis, Fox News.
The U.S. continues to aid Israel in its fight against Hamas militants. The Pentagon says they're sending additional air defense tools to help shield Israel from air attacks from Hamas. That's in addition to 900 troops that are set to be deployed from several U.S. defense bases. Humanitarian organizations are still trying to get relief supplies across the border into Gaza. In Springfield, Missouri, Convoy of Hope has been working to get supplies into Israel and Gaza. Chris Bryant spoke to convoy participants about the efforts to provide help to people in dire need.
Providing aid and resources to Gaza and Israel marks the 700th deployment for Convoy of Hope since they started doing disaster relief in 1998.
And it's no easy feat getting goods to Gaza. There are many steps and stops along the way.
Today we're staging down in Texas where air freight will be taking off to be going over to the Middle East with relief supplies of all different sorts. We also have at the border of Gaza and Israel, which is closed right now, we have our trucks lined up there with generators and food and relief supplies trying to get into Gaza.
Convoy of Hope tells me that along the Egypt and Gaza border, normally 500 trucks go into Gaza every day. As of right now, fewer than 50 trucks of relief aid have been allowed in.
They're not allowing many trucks through. We believe that they will allow convoy trucks through as soon as our trucks get up to the front of the line.
3 containers full of essential relief supplies arrived in Israel last week. And among those, Convoy of Hope provided food to more than 500 displaced families inside Israel.
The need is massive. I mean, there's so many displaced families in Gaza, in Israel, so many families that are just out of their homes because you don't know where the bombs are going to drop, where the ground invasion is going to go. So many people have evacuated. They're living in shelters, living in places where large groups of people don't usually gather.
But that is not stopping Convoy of Hope from sending supplies to the region or the people that volunteer to go help.
It does, and our international disaster response team is really an incredible group of people willing to go into dangerous places, Ukraine and in this situation in the Middle East. They signed up for that. They're very good at it. They know how to negotiate and get around, and they know how to get things done in those different countries. But it does take a special person to be willing to drop everything and to go into a war zone where the danger is real.
In 2022, Convoy of Hope deployed to 75 different locations to provide relief and aid. The conflict in Gaza and Israel marks the 73rd deployment. Just today, they announced that they'll be headed to Hurricane Otis to provide relief in Acapulco.
A bit later, AI helping small businesses.
Small business owners may spend countless hours on administrative tasks, but now there's an AI solution. I'm Eben Brown in Miami. I'll have that story straight ahead.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a mild one for us today. We had some showers during the morning hours, sunshine during the afternoon, very windy as well. The southerly winds at about 10 to 20 gusts higher than that. Check out this shot, great shot. Cornell Center, Arts and Entertainment Center, right on top of the Cornell Center in downtown Joplin. Looks great. You can see the flags blowing, and it's going to be breezy as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Check out the temps. Still, everybody's hovering right around 70 to about 73 degrees. We're only going to drop off another degree or two tonight, so really our temperatures we have out there right now is what we're going to see through the overnight hours. But I want you to focus on this. Look at our front. Look at the cold air behind it. Sioux Falls 51, 39 in Goodland. It's 20 in Rapid City. This front is barreling southeastward, heading toward us, and will affect us during the daytime hours tomorrow. Stays breezy tonight. South winds at about 10 to 20. Now at times we've had gusts 25, 30, upwards of 35 miles per hour. It's going to stay breezy through the daytime hours for us tomorrow. But we look good. We cleared out. We have clear skies. We'll start to get some clouds back in here by morning. The rain we had earlier, gone. But of course, we're tracking this storm system, strong storm system, which is going to start to head toward us during the daytime hours tomorrow. So let's break this down for you. Through tonight, clouds thicken. Watch this, 6 a.m., line of showers, even a thunderstorm. This is with our front. See the wind shift line? Watch it drop south. Right to the I-44 corridor by 10 a.m. We drop into the 50s behind it, 70s ahead of it. Front continues to barrel southeast through the afternoon. By 2:30, everybody's going to be in the 50s. By the time we get into the evening, a couple showers, we drop into the 40s. So this is a big switch moving in for us on Friday. Cloudy skies for us tomorrow night. We start to get a few random showers in here by Saturday morning. Showers start to slowly pick up through the day. Notice the temperatures. We're in the 40s. Showers increase by Saturday evening, and then we have periods of rain Saturday night and all the way into Sunday morning, which of course we need, but the temperatures are going to be so much colder. How much rain could we get? The heaviest amounts are going to be in our southern counties. Northern counties, you may get a 1/4 of an inch. Once you get to the I-44 corridor, maybe upwards to a 1/2 inch, maybe some areas an inch in our southern counties. Day planner, we start with rain with the front. Look at our temps, 58 noon, so 69 in the morning, 50 by the time we get into 4 p.m. So what does that mean for high school football? It's going to be chilly. Have your hoodie, have your coat. Kickoff, 47 will hang into the upper 40s throughout the entire game, or games, as we get into tomorrow evening. All right, 70 tomorrow, but dropping. 54, that's it on Saturday. 43 on Sunday, rain through the day. First freeze Sunday night into Monday morning. Sunshine returns, but look at these temperatures, only 45 on Monday for Halloween. High temperature of only 48 degrees. Dow?
Have to put some other layers under the costumes. Residents in the tourist hotspot of Acapulco, Mexico are looking everywhere for resources after the city was hit by Hurricane Otis yesterday. Thousands of people ransacked stores damaged by the hurricane. The Category 5 hurricane knocked out electricity and internet. Coming up in sports, Diamond and El Dorado Springs volleyball square off with a spot in the state quarterfinals on the line. Plus, high school football playoffs begin tonight in Kansas. John Dales has highlights from Colgan's game against Pleasanton and much more. That's up next.
The playoffs are here for Kansas high school football. Tonight, several local teams begin the postseason, including the Colgan Panthers, who are looking like the top team in Class 1A. Colgan opening the Class 1A playoffs at home against Pleasanton. First snap of the game, Cooper Simmons jumps in front of a Blue Jay pass attempt, says thank you very much, and returns it for a touchdown. 7-0 Colgan in the blink of an eye. Panthers now on offense, same score. Tucker Harrell heaves it deep. Clayton Adamson is there for a 50-yard touchdown. It's 14-zip Colgan. Still in the first quarter, Panthers facing 4th and 12 on the next drive. They pick it up, but a fumble after getting to the chains gives the ball right back to Pleasanton. No issue for the Colgan defense, though. Here's the second pick six of the first quarter. This one belongs to Kyson Bennett. It's 21-0 Colgan. Pleasanton forced to punt on its next drive. Deep kick, it bounces over the head of the returner, Anthony Schremer. He picks it up on a hop, gets some blocking, and he's going to take this one all the way to the end zone. This game never in doubt. Colgan wins 68-13. It'll host Jayhawk Lynn next Friday. Another 1A first-round playoff game happening over at Erie, and the Red Devils season comes to an end with a 48-20 loss to Central Heights. Over to Class 2A, Riverton at home this evening as well, and the Rams open the postseason with a dominant win against West Franklin, 58-0, and that's the same final score as the halftime score. That sets up a matchup between Humboldt and Riverton in the next round because the Cubs also dominated their playoff opener, winning 54-12. Pitt State football returns home for a rare opportunity this Saturday. That is playing a non-conference game as Sioux Falls comes to Kearney Smith Stadium. With this contest also happening on homecoming, it has the Gorillas thinking of the players who have come before.
It's incredible to get the support that we do from our alumni. I just love being around them because of their passion and their energy for this place and this program. And I love, and I know our program loves to go to work for those guys, and we're certainly proud to try to put together the best product on the field that we can for all of them.
We had so many different good receivers throughout my time here, so I just had to be patient. I learned from them, guys like Bryce Murphy, Elijah Harris, Christian Carter. Watched all those guys, just kind of saw what they did, and then focused on making sure I was always doing my job and nothing more than that, just doing what I need to do, and then opportunities came my way.
Over to Kansas high school volleyball. Riverton is headed to the Class 3A state tournament. This afternoon, the Lady Rams receive a send-off on their way to Hutchinson after a fourth consecutive trip to state. And as being the fourth consecutive trip to state, the Lady Rams are ready for whatever this weekend throws at them.
I'm just excited for the community of Riverton, and we hope that we have a good crowd that's able to make it to Hutchinson and support us. And it's very rewarding to work so hard and to finish at the top. So we just are really excited, and we're going to do everything we can to bring home a state championship.
Big matchup in Missouri high school volleyball this evening. We're into the sectional round of the playoffs with two of our local teams fighting for a spot in the state quarterfinals. It's Diamond against El Dorado Springs in a Class 2 sectional matchup. Winner moves on to the quarterfinals. Early in the first set, Diamond over the top. That's a big time kill. Lady Wildcats on the move early. They get another one here. Diamond with all the momentum at the beginning of this one. Back to the other side though, El Dorado Springs, a district champion for a reason. Big time kill there. Back into it now are the Lady Bulldogs. There's another one right through the block at the front of the net. El Dorado Springs with some momentum, winning the second set. One apiece at this point. Teams change sides. There's another big kill over the top for El Dorado Springs. They take the third set, now up 2-1. Big block. Diamond with its back against the wall at this point, needing to win the last two sets to advance on, but they don't. El Dorado Springs wins the final three sets. They win 3-1. They're on to the state quarterfinals. That's all for sports. Back with more news after this.
As the use of AI accelerates, small businesses are at risk of being left behind as tech companies focus on national corporations. But now a new AI-powered platform is looking to streamline administrative tasks, saving time and money. Fox's Eben Brown has more on this edition of our Fox on Tech series.
The AI revolution is changing the way we do business in almost every way, but it's not reaching everyone equally. Local businesses are at risk of being left behind, especially when it comes to paying their employees. A new survey shows 61% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and almost 12 million take out expensive payday loans, leading some to call the current payroll system a hidden tax on workers.
While workers are waiting for their paycheck for 2 weeks, they are incurring real costs to cover their expenses, things like payday loans and overdrafts fee.
That's where Homebase Payroll comes in. It's the first automated system that focuses on local businesses, which come with their own unique challenges. The goal of Homebase is to remove the complexity of managing a team of shift-based hourly employees, putting a big focus on scheduling and time tracking so you don't have to do it.
Did people clock out? It's the tip collection. It's all of these things make it really, really hard. By doing this all in one place, we're able to streamline that.
And Homebase can help save time and money. 76% of employers say they've made mistakes while calculating paychecks. Eliminating those slip-ups by streamlining the process with AI technology could soon become the industry standard.
We can apply AI, we can apply our expertise around the data and the software to eliminate those errors and make it far easier for small business owners.
As of now, small business owners spend 63 hours each year on payroll. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Another contestant has been unmasked in The Masked Singer. We're going to take a look at who portrayed the Hawk. Up next. The Hawk was unmasked during Harry Potter night on The Masked Singer, revealing a TV star and teenage heartthrob. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with details.
Teen Wolf star Tyler Posey was unmasked as the Hawk on Fox's The Masked Singer.
I'm super proud of how I played it all out and how I performed, and I had a great time, but I felt like I was robbed.
The actor-musician enjoys once-in-a-lifetime experiences.
You're performing in front of all these people in a costume. No one knows who you are. You're on stage with probably like some of the biggest celebrities in the world. And so everything about it is just like this really special, magical thing.
He feels the Hawk costume was the right fit for him.
I see myself as this sort of like leader role. And I feel like the Hawk is very much a heroic leader. It felt good. It felt like a good match.
Posey released his first full-length album, Unravel, back in May.
I've never done a full-length album. It was always little EPs. And so I wanted to kind of showcase all of my influences on this album. And there's like Blink-182 influences, more hardcore influences, Sugar Ray influences, 311. So it's kind of all over the board.
And he looks forward to performing the new material live next year alongside his wife, singer-songwriter Femme.
We want to do a co-headline tour, hopefully doing it in March. We're still planning it.
It means a lot coming from you guys. It really does.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with a video of a tiger at a Milwaukee zoo playing with a pumpkin. Let's make it a great tomorrow.